What's going on, everybody? Nick's from Nick's Rail Fading here, and today I'll be showing you my roster update part 1. So the part 1 for a roster update is as you can see, you got five locomotive that is DCC and Sound, and eventually I'll have more locomotive that will become DCC and Sound, slowly but surely, but for now most of them will be DC and DCC ready. So let's give further ado, let's get right into the first locomotive. So don't go away. Alright, so the first engine of the fleet is Walter's mainline ES44 ECG for Givo, and this is the Southern Railway Heritage Unit Scheme number 8099. Now, this is no introduction, but this is all factory stocked, but it'll be stay the same. But fortunately, there's no much details. But some say get the Walters details kit, but I don't know how much would that cost. But anyways, so yep, this is my first engine for DCC and Sound with sound equipped. So let's go ahead and power up. Okay, want to make sure I got the right address. And good news is I got my Bachmann Easy Command Plus back in business. Last couple of months it was out of commission, so I wasn't able to run all my DCC and Sound locomotives, but finally got it to work. Came back from the Bachmann headquarters in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so it was a long haul for it, but yeah. So okay, let's go ahead and put the camera down and start her up. Hopefully you can hear. Okay, F0 is your headlight, F5 is nothing, probably something, F6 is your ditch light, okay, F1 is your E-bell, and now F2 is your horn. Pretty much K5LA horn for most Gevos has nowadays is K5LA. Number 3 is the coupler crash. Number 4, I don't know what. Number 9 is, yep. Give her a whirl. Now, unfortunately, this does not do ditch light for the horn. Dang. Okay, do the shutdown procedure. There we go. Okay, that is it. That's about it for the NS 8099, the Southern Heritage Unit. Now let's go ahead and get the next locomotive. Next up is Scale Trains, Rivet Calendar C39-8. This is the Norfolk Southern, number 8601. Now this one is the latest because I bought it from Facebook Marketplace about a couple months ago. That's before this guy decided to not to work on me and make me have to send it to Bachman headquarters. But anyway, so here's 8601, and this is my first Scale Trains that has the, well, technically it ain't my first Scale Trains locomotive in my fleet. I have two that is DC. Actually, make that three, because I have the Conrail Heritage Unit and CSX 3194, and then C40-9 standard cab, which fortunately is not in my fleet at the moment because I forgot it from my friend's layout. Oh well, maybe I'll grab it when I get done, when I get there, get his place sometime. Anyway, so here's 8601, and then this is the former Norfolk and Western Heritage, no, Norfolk and Western engine, and collecting stuff from the 90s like era. Anyways, let's start her up. Now this particular locomotive has my very first time to have the Lock Sound 5 in there. As you can see, according to the box, it says Lock Sound. I think it's a version 5, but it sounds pretty decent. Like, it's loud, but it sounds pretty decent. Like, your number boards light are on, the sidewalk, not sidewalk, the walk light is on in the front, so is the side, and then the bottom light is on. And just so you know, I recently got a brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. As you can tell, the camera evolution looks awesome. So I finally got that upgrade, and here's that for you. Anyways, so shall we turn on the lights? So F0 is the ditch light, headlight. F5 is, I don't know what that is. F6 is your ditch light. And then after that, so F0 is light. F1 is the steel bell. And then this particular locomotive is a Nathan P5 horn. So F2 is your horn. Now I'm going to tell you something. This is one of my favorite engines throughout my collection. Is because, one, if I did the horn, it has actual ditch light based on the prototype 8601. So let me flash the horn again. There we go, got the ditch light, finally. Plus, it's the only locomotive I have in my fleet that is, let me turn off my bell. It's the only locomotive that I have in my fleet that has has an actual working ditch light, which is awesome. F3 is the handbrakes. And then here you can do the full throttle. For the notch 8. There we go. F4 is your, I don't know what F7 is. So yeah, that's basically it for your locomotive. So let me put on the throttle. It do run pretty quick, so and then here's the lights in the back, typical Norfolk Southern has, as known as hammerhead shark, with long, if it's hauling with long nose forward, it's called a hammerhead. But there's the horn again. And the back do have a ditch light, just like an actual prototype, which is pretty cool. Gonna go back in reverse and do the shutdown procedure. And in this locomotive too, I have the stay alive feature for, I don't know, 5 seconds, I'm assuming. But it's a pretty decent feature to remove the locomotive of your wish and put it back there. So let's go ahead and put it back in the forward position and do the shutdown procedure. If you press 8 again. And then if I lift the locomotive up, still hear the sound for 5 seconds. See? Now it's not hearing it anymore since it's stay alive feature. Pretty good feature for the scale trains rivet counter. I love it. Hopefully I'll have more scale trains in their future. Okay, next up is Atlas Master. Wait, Atlas, I think it's the, yep, Atlas Master chassis system, number 4171. It's a GP40-2, and this one has the quadrum sound. It has the QSI sound. which is made from Atlas. Now here's the weird catch. If I do F0 and put it in reverse, lights turns on, but if I do it in forward position, it turns off. That's pretty odd. Usually it's forward that it has the lights, but I'm going to put on backwards so that way you'll see the lights. Number lights do work. Number boards works. Ditch light, no ditch lights. There's no ditch lights for the 90s. So this is like 1980s era. This one has light, a little bit of light of the weathering, which is pretty cool. I bought that from a train show. Bought it from train show later this couple of months ago. I was at train show, and boy, this locomotive is beautiful. And yep, so here's the F8 is the mute, 9 is F7, F3 is the coupler, air hose, instrument. And then here's F1 is the bell. And then F2 is the horn. Here's the short horn sound, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming this particular locomotive has the a Leslie, but I don't know. Let me know in comments down below what you think. So yeah. Alrighty, next up is Athearn Genesis, Canadian Pacific, SD70 ACU. My goodness, it's big, bigger than a regular Ace, but it's a rebuilt from the SD90 Mac, for the rebuild of SD70 ACU from where SD90 Macs were slowly getting either getting rebuilt or scrapped. But so yeah, that's for today's railroad. You'll see the ACUs from both Norfolk Southern and Canadian Pacific. No other class ones has the ACUs except for Norfolk Southern and Canadian Pacific. Alrighty, so has the random sound already, so alrighty, so anyway, so this is Athearn Genesis SD70 ACU. If my phone will ever focus. Now this is the frame rate is a lot different on my phone because, as you can tell, the lights are flickering, but the real locomotive, don't worry, the real locomotive isn't flickering. It's just the frame rate. It says just the frame rate of the camera. Anyways, so here it is. Let me go ahead and do the startup procedure. There we go. And I believe this one has the Tsunami 2 for Athearn Genesis. they sound pretty good for the Genesis model. F0's your light. Oh, that's the function button. F0's your horn, light. I meant ditch light is F. That's the number board. Ditch light. My goodness, it's bright. F1's your bell. Now, I don't know what kind of horn that is. I believe it's a P3. So, like it said, let me know in the comments down below. So, here's the horn. And then here's, now this one does not do the ditch light like my Scout Trains does, but I wish it did, but oh well. Technically, this is not my locomotive. This is my friend's Railfan Ashton Photography. This is his model train because plus he don't have a lot of room at his place, so he told me to probably have his trains in my storage, which I'm happy to do so for him. Now, let me do the shutdown procedure so I can show you what my favorite thing is. Turn off the bell. Turn off the ditch light. There we go. Got the shutdown procedure complete. Now for F7, it's one of my favorites. I always do all the time is
track detector
walkie-talkie stuff.
372.3. No effect. Detector out.
And of course you can hear the random sound from the locomotive itself. Like the real life railroad.
Master, the Bush local, set your cut over to the third rail. Over. Bush local, copy that. Out.
Now my actual favorite one is to hear the actual like defect detector. But it's going to be a little long, so I might not be able to do it. I'm going to want to bore you guys out. Anyway, so that's the locomotive itself, SD70 ACU. So this is, I forgot to tell you the number. That's 7022, which is the
between milepost 55.75 and milepost 56.00. Main track, no flags, clear.
and that's the honoring the Navy. Not Navy, Marines. So yeah. Hold on a second. Alright, so sorry about that. This is here's the last locomotive for the fleet. So this is Bachmann, Norfolk Southern SD70 Ace EE. Now this is the Wabash Heritage unit. And actually I got that one in real life when he was in mid double DPU on one of the mixed rates. Don't remember which one that was, but that was like a couple years ago. So this is the Bachmann for the, as the sound I don't know, I forget what Bachman uses for the sound. Probably I don't know. I'll look it up later. But yep, this is it. So F0 is your lights. Wait, I'm on the wrong address. F0 is your light. I don't know if this light do work or not. Okay, here we go. Here's the mute. So you can hear me. Excuse me. So here we go. F1 is your bell. Now F2 is the horn, which I might be able to switch up the speakers with the skill sounds because, for one, the speaker of that thing is horrible, and two, it's not a big fan of that speaker since it's making that cracking noise whenever I hit the horn, but here's the short horn. F4. I think F4 is the dynamics. F7 is the light, the dims. 8 is the mute. 9 is. So yeah, let's roll it. There you go. So that will conclude this video. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you like it. Comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already, since I can do model trains, actual rail fanning, and gaming, and much more. So comment what's your favorite locomotive of my fleet, and stay tuned for part 2, since I can review all my DC locomotives. So stay tuned for that. But sorry, I can't do it in one video because it'll make it too long, so I don't want that to happen. So let's leave. I'm gonna leave you to leave it a run by to each locomotive, see what a pulling power looks like to the rolling stocks, and a lot more. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you. So yeah, if you do, just consider like, subscribe, and comments, and I'll be happy to get back into you. So, all right. So I thank you very much for watching. Oh, there you go. There you go. Interesting. Mm.